just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, same old, same old, every single day, without question. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Hello everyone, it's me, yes, again, tonight, talking about the page, and tonight especially about Oliver Cromwell. Yes, good old Oliver Cromwell. Oliver's Army. Remember that? The song? Oliver's Army. But anyway, we'll be talking about Anthony and myself a little bit later after we say thank you to Gap Painting Services, who sponsor every single podcast that I do, every single one. Please don't struggle, trying to get your house done or the outside, inside, anywhere. Just get these in. Let them give you the price. They're fully time served. There's no cowboys there. They're all fully time served lads. They're fully insured as well, just in case something goes wrong. It'll be replaced. And even if you can ask for testimonials, references, and they give you them from customers, satisfied customers. And you can ask for them. If you're an NHS worker and you're an elderly person, whether you're a single or a couple, get them in because you get special discounts. Special discounts of Gap Painting Services. And even if you're not one of those, just ask them to come down and give you the price without any obligation. That's Gap Painting Services. The sponsors of every single one of the pods. And tomorrow night I'm doing football. I'll be doing a podcast about Liverpool. So join me tomorrow night, all you wonderful football fans. I'm going to bring this Al fella in now. This Anthony fella. Knows everything, Anthony, you know. There he is.
I would be delighted if we had a subject about nothing, because that's a subject I know a lot about.
Don't behave yourself, you daft thing. Yeah, we hope to go to Florence, don't we, Firenze?
We do.
And, just imagine going there and walking around and seeing Da Vinci's house, seeing Angelo's house, and these wonderful things, the Great Duomo. I'm going to show you the clock in there. I didn't know it was a clock. I just thought, what's that? Standing there for ages, and I don't know whether it was like a Benedictine monk or something. And he came up to me, he said, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "That." I said, "I don't know what it is." He said, "It's the first clock ever made." To tell you, I said, "I can't tell the time." He said, "No one can." No one can. So I'm not the only one, you know. But, it's something to look forward to, isn't it?
Absolutely, Frank.
I'm going to tell. I forgot to tell them last night about my good news that I'm actually going to see a neuro specialist at the end of the month. Going to see them, and I'm in a couple of weeks, which I've been waiting for 4 years, and
Absolutely.
I'm finally getting to see them.
Brilliant. You'll be back in the first team.
Yeah. Do you think Slaughter will give me a pair of boots?
Well, you've just got to be subtle about it. Sit down and say, "No job for you here now, mate. I'm back."
I'm back. Like Arnie Schwarzenegger, I'm back. I'll be back. Big Arnie. So anyway, what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about... I've got to do a little recap about Elizabeth, because Elizabeth, she died in 1603. She died from blood poison. Another thing about which I forgot to mention last night, because I was upset last night, Anthony, over that little girl. Anyway, enough about that, because I got a reply today, and I was replying. Got a reply today, and I was replying. It was only about an hour or so ago. And what I was saying, YouTube took it off. My reply.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the way it's going.
Fucking horrible.
Yes.
Anyway, there's no way going on about it now. But I forgot to mention as well, do you know through the life of Elizabeth,
Yes.
she'd never, ever seen a doctor. No doctors were allowed. And do you know what else wasn't allowed? On her death? An autopsy.
Right. Okay.
And to fit it in, the little small stone coffins, they had to break her legs to fit it in.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. So this is Elizabeth, whom I still say, have I got it there? No, don't know where to put it. No, not there. So
Didn't James show absolute lack of respect for
for his mother, because he congratulated on Elizabeth for the execution of his own mother. That's what kind of a fella he was.
Yeah.
James I congratulated on the death of his own mother, the woman who signed the death warrant.
Yeah.
Or the fella. And as I keep saying, this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you know what? I had the book of this and I lent it out. I never ever got it back. Forgot who I lent it to. And it's called The Bisley Boy. And to buy it today, it's 30 quid. The Bisley Boy. Anyway, Barry Aldridge, will you be offline when you are incapacitated, Frankie? Good evening to you both, by the way. Good evening, Barry.
Good evening, Barry.
Will you be offline when you are incapacitated, Frank? I think I'm incapacitated all the time, to be honest.
open. No, we were openly dancing around the room, playing Sherlock
Yeah.
Fab.
See, I was talking to Francine, and she said it could be an operation, Dad. So that could be the stumbling block. That could be the incapacitation of me, to be honest, Barry.
Well, that would be short term. We hope.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I had that triple repair, I used to have a little English literature class, like this.
Yeah.
And I got up out of bed to put them on. I said, I can't stay. I'm not well enough. So I had them on, during the little class, talking about the books and things. And so it could be like that. If I have an operation, it could be for a week. I just don't know.
No.
Don't know. The lovely Bella. Buonasera, Franco and Antonio. Sorry, I haven't problems. I haven't. Is that?
Having problems.
Sorry,
with
I have. That's I have, isn't it? They put haven't in. That predictive text. Problems with my internet.
Thanks
That's
for
horrible,
joining.
What was you going to say?
Yeah.
And Toscana says, Buonasera, Franco and Anthony and chatters. Hope you're all well and well done, Franco, in getting your appointment. Onwards and upwards. Thank you, Toscana.
Yes. That's the way. Positivity will cure it.
Yeah. Just 4 years I've been waiting. And every year, well, it goes now by weeks. I go worse and worse. And no one to make me a cup of tea. Not like you. You get cups of coffee and tea and everything made for you. And scotch is poured out. And there's me sitting there struggling to get up to make myself a cup of tea. That's what you call envious. Maybe envious. And Barry says, didn't want to be rude by asking, but as you just said, if there is an operation, yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen, but everyone will be the first to know, all you lovely people. You'll be the first to know what's going to happen. And Barry says, glad something is happening for you at last. Thank you, Barry. I really appreciate that. I really do. And Toscana says, Franco's going to be dancing around the apartment like Fred Astaire.
There you go. That's what I said. So it must be true.
One of the greatest dancers ever, wasn't he, Fred?
He was. He was good, Fred. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know his name was Fred Austerlitz? And why I know Austerlitz is because Napoleon had a battle there. You know Austria?
Yeah.
The Battle of Austerlitz. And that was his name. Fred's. Great though, Fred. Great dancer.
Yeah.
Lee Brady, my old mate. Fellow Frank and Anthony. Hello. That means hello, Frank and Anthony. Hope you're both well. I didn't know there was a battle in Chilwell where there are bullet markings in the church from the cannonballs. Yeah. During the Norman times, there used to be a fort there, a castle. A castle. I used to have a picture of an aerial view of where the castle was, and you can actually see the outline of the castle. And it was knocked down. It was a Norman castle. And when it was knocked down, well, why it was knocked down was because of the stone castle in Liverpool.
Oh,
So that just became nothing. Then he knocked it down.
that's brilliant.
So I'll tell you something. You know, while we're on a little subject of a little bit of local history,
Yeah.
right? You won't know this. Now, you know there was a zoological gardens
Yes.
up in Shield Park,
Yeah.
right? A zoo, big zoo, right? Do you know Shield Road? You know, so the animals like horses and things, you know, whatever, right, wouldn't get injured, right?
Yeah.
So Shield Road, you're not going to believe this. Do you know parquet flooring?
Yeah.
That was Shield Road. Is that parquet flooring so it wouldn't hurt the animals?
So it was easier to move them as well, I guess.
Sorry?
So it was easier to move them as
Oh,
well.
yeah, it was easier to move them and things, yeah. Absolutely. Even lions and things.
Wow.
It's incredible. And when, do you know, but the beauty of it is, when they were safing it up, you know, after it had gone, and they decided to build the road, you know, properly. And, you know, there was tarmac over it now, you know, by the time. So he was digging it up, you know, for the new road. And people were going and getting the wood, you know, bringing it home and burning it. Firewood.
Wow. My gosh.
How's that, eh?
History for burning. At least they never put a car park on it.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And Bella says, Franco, I'm glad you're finally going to get your life on track and everything will go well, Franco. I can be your mate. Thank you. It's always open. My door's always open.
Yeah.
Never closed.
Glass is always half full.
There you go. And I can someone can make me a cup of tea. Happy days. Happy days. Thank you, Bella. Oh, wow. That's amazing, Frank. Was the castle in West Derby or a Norman castle too? Yeah. I'd love to see that picture if you dig it out once. I will. Lee, I promise you. I'll dig it out. I have got a picture of it.
I'll make a note to remind us. Our Jason's probably got one, but our Jason's sadly not with us.
No.
But
He's ran off with some woman.
well, he's just magic, isn't he? He's the backline. And if you said to him, "Have you got a picture of the Pope with his pink socks and his woolly hat on?" he'd say, "Yeah, I'll have to put him up."
I'll put us up. Barry says, now there's a proposition, Frank, you know, for Bella being me mate.
Yeah.
And Lindsay says, evening, Frank and Anthony, hope you're both well and warm.
Ah.
Well, I've got a cold.
Yeah.
I know you rang me today, Lindsay, but I couldn't answer you because I was on the phone to my doctors, unfortunately, when you rang. And, I was on the phone for 3/4 of an hour. And Lee says, so the only building that will still survives from the battle is the church. I might try metal detect down that way if I get permission. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not, mate? And Linda says West Derby has its own castle. Still evidence there. Castleview Road. Absolutely. Castleview Road in West Derby, yeah. So on that note, when James, became king, the line was still going on. And when he died, I guess what religion he died as?
Catholic.
Right. So then Charles I took over. And he was married to Marie Antoinette. No, Marie Henrietta. I'm sorry, Henrietta. And she was a French princess.
Yeah.
Who was
a Catholic.
Yeah. And there was a priest. Don't forget, priests were executed if they were caught, but there was this priest and he couldn't touch him. And she used to go to Mass. He used to come in and say the Mass. Anyway, what has happened was, with the deputations going up to the king from Parliament, they used to see Charles standing in the background as the Mass was going on with his queen, there.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that.
No.
And don't forget that he has all the people in, like this, in his ear, in Cromwell's ear. Now, you might think Cromwell was one of these leaders of Parliament, and he really wasn't. He wasn't the big I am.
No.
He wasn't. I'll tell you who was over in Fairfax. You've heard of Fairfax, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Well, he was over him. And so anyway, he was in Parliament, and even trading with Catholic countries,
Yeah.
And people didn't like it. We don't want Catholicism trading with Catholic countries. We don't want that. So anyway, it all started. And there was a long, what you call the long Parliament, from 1640 to 1642. And when that was over, a civil war started. And the civil war was like a Game of Thrones. That's what it was like. And Prince Rupert actually came up to, Hale Village.
Yeah.
And he was looking for the castle. So anyway, they had the runners in the castle. So they marched from Halewood to the Liverpool castle. But they didn't go right up to the castle. Where they camped was on the top of Everton Road there. And there used to be a pub called the Campfield. The Campfield pub. Don't know whether it's still there. And a school's there now, big modern school. Looks like a bloody aeroplane, to be honest. Big jumbo jet, this particular school. I used to do some night school there. Used to teach there. So anyway, the Campfield is called the Campfield because that's where the Cavaliers stayed. Because who owned the castle was the Moors.
Yeah.
And the Moors were devout parliamentarians. Devout parliamentarians. And he never viewed the castle from the campfield, because where the campfield was, and as you look down, there was a big woods. You know where everything is?
Yeah.
It's a massive woods. Say like, do you know St. George's Church in Everton, the high steeple one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's where Campfields is. And if you look down there towards the castle, you couldn't see it because of the trees, loads of trees. And they viewed the castle from Low Hill. That's where they viewed the castle from. And they said, we'll take this. Now, there's little myths surrounding Rupert, because you've got the lock-up there. And the lock-up is on the Everton jersey, the Everton crest.
Yeah.
The jersey. And that's the lock-up. And people say that Rupert built it. And he never. Because Rupert was here between May and June 1644. And that was actually built over 100 years later in 1787. That lock-up. Yeah. 1787. So it was built well after Rupert was there, because he was only there for 18 days between May and June 1644. And all the myths surrounding that, you know, he dug tunnels down to, towards the castle, and there's a load of nonsense, you know. You being there for 18 days and digging tunnels, what with? Little shovels. Don't think so, do you? And don't forget, Liverpool's built on sandstone.
Yeah.
So there was a matter of have a drill or something, you know, to dig a tunnel. Let's see what these are saying. Sorry to say these. I'm sorry, boys and girls. And Lindsay says, that's fine, Frank, you know, about the phone call. Thanks, Lynn. Lee Brady, loads of football fields down there too, so I might see if I can go there while they're not in use. About 5 full-size pitches. Got to be something there. You might find that half a crown that you just might find that half a crown that Anthony lost that time.
That one, yeah. Yeah.
And Polo. Hi, Frank and Anthony. Hi, Apollo.
Hi, Polo.
And Paulie. Hi, Anthony and Frank and chat. I'm in the queue in Home and Bargain, Belleville, just now. Home and Bargain, that's a cracker, that, isn't it?
Anything you want bringing in?
Oh, blimey. I've been in there myself with our Francine, Home Bargain.
Yeah.
And Lindsay says, I believe you can still go down to the castle lower rooms. Someone I know went down and videoed bits. Oh, go away.
Wow.
Didn't know that, Lynn. It's new to me. So, what had happened was, Rupert, he said, come on, let's just get this. Let's get this done and over with. Anyway, he has a hard time because who's in charge of the castle was one of the Moores, the Moore family. The Moore family. And he got off. He left the citizens to fend for themselves. And 360 citizens had been killed. 360. Now, there's a caveat here, because Rupert used up all his gunpowder, believe it or not. All his gunpowder, trying to take the castle, which he did eventually, in the June 1644. And he put, someone in charge. That was it. So now the Cavaliers owned it from the parliamentarians. So they were in charge. Rupert made his way to the next big battle, which was Marston Moor, just outside York. Marston Moor. Now, here in Liverpool, on the castle was changed hands. Now, this was the June, but it was changed hands again in the November of 1644. And what they did, with the Moors getting off, they called him a coward and a traitor to the cause. So a couple of streets, which was Moor Street, was scrubbed out. And one of them is well-known. A well-known street, which was called Moor Street. And they changed Moor Street into Tithe Barn Street, because the tithes were taxes, and there was a big barn there, and that's where people had to go and pay the tithes, the taxes. So they named it Tithe Barn Street. And that was the penalty that the Moors suffered because of it, the family Moors.
Yeah.
He suffered because of that, their name scrubbed off. But also what was done was the Royal Seal for Liverpool that we got at 1207, August 1207, 28th August to be precise. Well, that Royal Seal was King John's Royal Seal, and it was the eagle of King John, because he took the eagle of St. John. St. John was known, the saint was known for the eagle. So he took that, so he gave it to Liverpool, and that was our Royal Seal. So anyway, that was smashed up. Someone just went up and smashed it up. Royal Seal. We don't want any royals. This is when they took over in the November, by the way, 1644. So the original Royal Seal, and this is where, when we look at the liver bird, it doesn't look like an eagle. It looks more like a cormorant, which it isn't. Because when they asked, when it was retaken, years later, they asked if anyone, when the king was there on the throne again, they asked someone, is there any engravers here? And, people were looking around, and this fella thought, I'll have a go at that. So they said, all right, we want you to give the Royal Seal, the eagle of King John. So we said, yeah, right. So obviously the fella was either a bad engraver or couldn't engrave at all. And he came out with that bird with big long legs and laver in its beak. But it doesn't look like an eagle's beak. And it looks more like a cormorant with a big long neck. And eagles don't have long necks. See?
Yeah.
So it's not a cormorant. It's, in reality, it's an eagle, the eagle. And that's what the liver bird is, an eagle. So we see what these have been saying again. And Archie was I've just checked in. How are you, fellas? We're good, thank you, Archie.
Good, thanks, Archie.
And Lindsay says, keep Braithwaite. He videos ghosts and went down. His video is fascinating. Oh, go away.
Oh,
Let's look at that, to be honest, Lynn.
yeah.
And Barry says, I work for George Wimpy. I believe. No, it's not I believe. Bellevale. He worked for Wimpy in Bellevale for 50 years ago this year. Go away.
Oh,
Wimpy's. Yeah, I remember Wimpy's. It was Darren Tyson, wasn't it? And McLean's, was it? McLean's?
they were legendary names, yeah.
Legendary, yeah.
For training so many apprenticing, sorry, not training, so many craftsmen, you know, who built the city.
Yeah. Loads of craftsmen. My Uncle Ronnie was in my grandmother's, you know. And my Uncle Ronnie was working where my grandmother lived. Like there was a building site, which is now a part of John Moores University, you know, Scotland Road there.
Yeah.
And he was working on that. And I was looking out the window with it. I was a young lad looking out the window, and she's saying, look at him. She used to call him Larry the Lamb, you know. She said, look at Larry the Lamb. She was just not half funny, my grandmother. And swore like a trooper in Italian. Right, but anyway, she said, look at Larry the Lamb. And all as my Uncle Ronnie done, honestly, do you know those like oil drums?
Yeah.
With holes in. And they had fires, didn't they? And you know, they built fires.
Yeah.
That's all he ever did was stand with his back to this big oil drum.
Like a coffee wagon.
Larry the Lamb. Fantastic. It's funny. I couldn't call him Larry the Lamb. He'd kill me. And Barry says, piece of useless. No, it's not.
That's brilliant. No, again, it's like such a part of the city.
Yeah. Never be sorry on here. That's great piece of history I made up with.
Yeah.
So don't forget tomorrow night, all you football fans, I'll be doing the podcast starting at 7 as usual. And the Polo says, you're right, Frank, it's probably an eagle badly drawn by sixth former. Honestly, it's like anything. You know, they look around and go like that. It was handsome out. I can see that. You know what I mean?
But that's the brilliant thing, isn't it? So it's like nothing else.
Yeah.
Really. We mentioned 3 or 4 birds that it's based on, but it's like nothing, which is like Liverpool, which is like nothing else.
Yes. So anyway, that was the November. So in the June, you know, in the June, by the way, what had happened was Rupert went to Marston Moor. He left Liverpool Castle, and as I said, there was a royalist in charge, but he never lasted long. He only lasted till November. And when he got to Marston Moor, As I said, he used up all his gunpowder. Do you know how many men he lost, by the way, fighting the castle?
No.
2,000.
Wow.
And there was a lot wounded as well. So by the time they got to Marston Moor, the parliamentarians looked and they went, "Oh, look at this lot," because they were knackered. They had to march, you know.
Yeah.
They marched from Liverpool to Marston Moor. No horses for them. Rupert had a horse and a cart and everything else where he could have a kip. And they had to walk, and they were all bloodied. They were bedraggled. Some were wounded. So it gave the parliamentarians a lift.
Yeah.
And Charles II was, he was defeated there. And they said to Charles, "Listen, get off." And he went. He got up to Scotland, where he surrendered himself to the Scots. So in the meantime, the likes of Fairfax, he became secondary now, and it was Cromwell who actually took over. So by the time 1649 came about, Charles I, he was being convicted and he had to stand trial. Excuse me, this is nuts. He had to stand trial.
Yeah.
So when he went on trial, before he went on trial, you know, they were saying, "You'll be all right." You know, his advisors and even the Scots saying, you know, there won't be any, they do nothing to you. They won't commit regicide. Nobody commits regicide. So he said, "Okay, yeah." So he just went down. And he was found guilty. And he was sentenced to be beheaded. He was a brave man, you know.
Yeah.
He was a very brave man. And he gave the axe bearer a gold coin. He said, "Make it a clean sweep." And the axeman just said, "Okay." Anyway, he was executed. And then they were saying to Cromwell, "Oh, you're going to be the king." He said, "No, I'm Lord Protector. That's all I want to be. I'll protect the realm." But he had a devilish outlook because he was a Puritan. He was a Puritan. And he didn't believe in Christ, you know. Did you know that?
No.
He believed in Christ, but he didn't believe that he was the Son of God. Do you know why?
No.
Because he said he was mortal. He was only like us. And they put him to death. Albeit that they still had the crosses, but without the Christ on it. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Without the Christ on it. I couldn't figure out why they left the cross, but didn't have the Christ on it. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
They still had that as a symbol of, you know, Christianity. I just couldn't understand that.
No.
And he went in, and, you know, you might think about, you know, you see these abbeys, and people used to think that Henry VIII had them all, you know, bent down and whatever. No. It was Cromwell.
Jeez.
All these ancient abbeys.
Do
Have you ever been to York?
Yeah.
Have you been in the cathedral? York Cathedral?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I wonder if you can remember, because I went there, I've been there a couple of times, and I was looking around, and I knew about what they did, the Puritans. And if you ever go in, have a look up at the ceiling, and coming down from the ceiling, you have, like morals, holy morals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because further down, you've got blank walls. Because he wanted all these morals, effigies and everything taken away. Get rid of them. Idolatry. He hated it. Puritans didn't like that, idolatry. Adoring idols. That's what idolatry is. And all that, all down, where they could reach, taking these morals off. But you only have them at the top. And that's in York Minster Cathedral. But he did that everywhere, and he destroyed churches.
Yeah.
He destroyed lots of churches.
Yeah.
And what else he did? He had some terrible rules. And I mean, awful rules. This Puritan faith. And you had to go to the services. If you ever go to the ancient chapel of Toxteth, you'll see how they were. You know where the Melly family are buried?
Yes.
Well, that became a Puritan thing. I'll tell you something else about it as well.
Wow.
So these people, he wasn't just saying it on his own, he was giving out orders. He was giving out orders. And he wanted everyone to pray 5 times a day. You couldn't sing or you couldn't whistle. You could never sing, whistle on a Sunday. And the only time, a man could cut his beard if he wanted to cut it was during the week. A special day during the week. You couldn't do it on a Sunday. The only thing that you could do on a Sunday was to pray. He banned colour. All colours were banned. The only colours that you could wear was black and white. Black and white. And if someone had died, you had a little strip of purple. That's all. On your tunic or a dress, whatever. Women had to dress in black and white too. They had to dress in black and white. No colours whatsoever. No colours. And also, he banned playwrights. He banned them. He banned every sort of writing. He closed theatres down. He closed inns down, pubs. He just shut everything down. And I mean everything.
Like the Dark Ages.
It was. It went right back to the Dark Ages. But more lethal. More lethal. Then he was getting reports that there was villages, hamlets small hamlets, which is a small village, villages and small towns were taking no notice of him. He said, no, we're not doing all this. I've just got to go through these, Anthony. I'll tell you what he done. Barry says, Barrelshausen, yeah? Yeah, remember them. Linda says, I've asked Keith Braithwaite if he can send me the video so you can see it, Frank. I haven't got a video player, unfortunately. Even if Frank and Anthony says TW, IT.
Even a TW.
And Polo says, Frank, can I ask which family owns Speak Hall? Yeah, under the Tudor reign, the Norrises. The Norrises owned it, Polo. And Paulie says, struck, always taking these history talks in. Amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Paulie. I know it's history show, right? This is Lee Brady. Just to let you know, Salah is on his way back anyways. Mane, all people, sent, yes, Senegal. I'll let you know, Frank, how I get on with the detecting permissions. Yeah, be good, that. Be good, that. See, you can find that £0.50 that Anthony's always moaning about.
I know, we owe it to someone else.
And he actually says, crikey, Cromwell sounds like a communist. Reminds me of someone in our modern day time. They're doing it in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could name a few, couldn't we? So what has happened was, Anthony, he said, so this is what's happening around the... He said, it's all around the country. He said, oh, is it? So we brought in a fellow by the name of Matthew Hopkins. And Matthew Hopkins, if you think of villains, this fellow was one. A right villain. And he has a little posse with him. Come on.
Wasn't he commonly known as the witch finder?
Yeah, he was the witch finder general. Because what the fella said to him was there's witches as well. And I think what they're doing is putting spells on the people who don't follow your orders. He said, oh, okay. So he gets this fella, Matthew Hopkins. And he was known as the witch finder general. And he used to go to little communities at the beginning. Now, during the war, the Civil War, it was the men who lost their lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Men who they just lost their lives. It was shocking. Now, you can imagine you're talking the 1640s, yeah, 40s. And what you had running around with the little lady fellas, the vermin, rats. So what you think the women did who had no husbands, they were widows. And I'm talking all over the country here. What do you think they got in for the vermin? Wasn't a fucking mousetrap, was it?
No.
So what gets rid of vermin?
flame gun. Yeah.
Flame. A cat.
Okay, with you. With you.
Well, they're the only things, aren't they, that get rid of it. But anyway, nevertheless,
No.
your cat, and he said, this is the witch finder. Oh, well, look around to see if anyone's got a cat. A black cat. Any fucking cat. I said, okay. So anyone who was seen with a cat was deemed a what?
Wow.
A witch.
A witch. Yeah.
Witch finder general. And he said anyone with a cat
Yeah.
deemed a witch.
It's
So
really-
what they used to do, sometimes they burnt them, just threw them up and fucking burned them to the stake. Sometimes they used the ducking pole stool. If there was a little stream there, you know, a little river, they used to have the ducking stool. And they used to put them in the water. And if they bring them up and they're alive, there was a witch. But they never ever came up alive. They were always dead. But they said, oh, she was a good person, now she's in heaven. They just fucking murdered her.
I see the parallels with today, but it was also the pagan kind of sense of religion, which included what they dubbed witchcraft, was still active. You know, because you had Catholics, you had your protesters, so it's still a call on anything that's different from what we want, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there used to be a pastor down at, during the Puritan times, called Pastor Ma. Pastor Ma. Or Man, was it Man? No, Ma. Pastor Ma. And anyway, they were giving him a bad time here in Liverpool. Oh, fuck off. No. You can imagine the Scousers, can't you? Giving him a bad time.
Yeah.
And this was at the ancient chapel of Toxteth. So he decided to go to America, the New World. So we went over to America. Yeah. And his two grandsons, they have funny names. One was called Increase, and the other fellow was called Cotton. Increase Mar and Increase Cotton Mar and Increase fucking Mar, right?
Yeah.
And in the years, do you know what they opened? These two descendants. Do you know what they opened? Harvard and Yale universities.
Get away.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And one of them was a judge in the 1692 Salem witch trials.
Oh, my God.
How about that?
Wow.
I forget who it was. I don't know whether it was Increase or Cotton.
Joining the dots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is fascinating.
And all because of this fella giving us a bad time, giving everyone a bad time.
Yeah.
There he is. And when he was getting his portrait done, he said, I want warts and all. He says, yeah, fucking right, you're going to get a wart. And he has one right there. And he can see it there.
Yeah.
And one on the end, I think he has one on the ends of his nose or the side of his nose, but he didn't like that. He said, don't put that one on. I said, all right then, Ollie. Won't do that.
You know what? What a truly ugly specimen of mankind in every way.
Every way. Every way. And that's where he was handed over the mace of Lord Protector.
My God. That's like making Jimmy Savile the education minister.
Yes. And there's a good scene. That's a cracking scene, that.
Yes.
About the Cavaliers in battle. That could be Marston Moore, actually. Or Naseby. Lots of battles went on. And that's where people were hanged, drawn, and quartered. And you see the fire. Do you know what that was for?
The remains?
What it was. What do we call the 5th of November?
Bonfire.
Right.
Guy Fawkes night.
Yeah, well, it's bonfire. Good fire. It's French. Bon fire. It's French. It's a good fire. Why did they call it a good fire? Have you any idea?
In their context, it was because it was getting rid of bad.
Yeah, it was getting rid of the Catholics. It was the burning of Catholicism. Because when they were quartered, what they used to do, they hanged them, but they never killed them. That's why they used to get on the ladder and they were pushed off and they were hanging there, choking. And then the noose was taken off them. They were put on a big slab, big table. And it was a butcher, any butcher, in the community was chopping them up. Chopped their arms off first, then their leg. And as they were dying, they cut the belly open right up. And they got some of the innards out while they were still alive, not the heart, the innards. And they went over to the fire and threw it on. And they used to turn their heads and made them look at their innards and like arms or legs or whatever being burnt. And then they succumbed, obviously, with loss of blood. And hence, bonfire.
Sick.
Of course it was sick. So you see the way this man was working.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm sorry, go on, what was you going to say?
Pure psychopathic.
Yeah. 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 And out of all the theatres that was shut and all the inns that was shut, everything, But there was still people saying this fucking useless, this. But they couldn't say it out loud, or they were put to death like that. There, put to death. Could you imagine the stench around there?
Unbelievable, yeah. And you mentioned something yesterday, which was quite a shock to me about him, because there's no noble line with this horror.
No.
He wasn't from aristocracy or high society. He was a thug.
Of course he was. He was a farmer. That's all he was. And he loved fucking killing as well. This is why he took over Fairfax. During battles, he was ruthless.
And Cromwell wasn't even his name, was it? Did he adopt that?
Yeah, he adopted that name. Cromwell. But when you see the way he was, and the way his ruthlessness went right through the country,
yeah,
people still admired him, but people hated him as well.
Yeah.
Because the people who loved him was Puritans. And remember when I said about last night's stream, when I said, when the Catholics were being persecuted, the purge on them, there was another group of religious fanatics growing up, and they were the Puritans.
Yes.
And then they were exiles over to Holland.
Yes. And
the Dutch threw them out because of their, ways. They said, "Oh, fuck off, go on," and they threw them out. And they came over to Plymouth. And that's when, the English said, "You're not fucking staying here. We've already threw you out." So they went on the Mayflower. And I always forget the other ship's name. 2 ships sailed over to Virginia. That's where the English were, in Virginia. But they were blown off course and ended up at Cape Cod. And they really thought that it was the Jerusalem, because what they seen was log cabins and farmland with crops growing. But it belongs to the indigenous people.
Yeah.
But what did they do to the indigenous people? What do you reckon they did? You think they said, "Listen, we're coming in your house now. Can we come in? Knock on the door." Don't think so. So what did they do to them?
Slaughtered them.
Slaughtered them. Like they did with the Irish, 1566. Slaughtered them. Ethnic cleansing. Genocide. No matter how you put it. Everything is genocide with the English.
Yeah. Even today.
Even
Not
today.
But by.
Go on a minute.
Wow.
Cheers, Lee. Cheers, Lee. Lee Brady sent me a message. He said, "I'll find Anthony's half a crown with my metal detector. Do my best." So anyway, so it was going through a bad time right here. All writing had stopped. And he was the only poet.
Milton? Milton?
John Milton. Yeah, John Milton. And he wrote Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained. But he was blind, you know. He went blind. And do you know how we went blind, Anthony?
No.
We've spoken about this, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, when we've spoken about all our great writers who we love and adore, and, you know, from the likes of Shakespeare and people, even the great Dickens,
Yeah.
they were writing by candlelight. That's what killed him. Well, made him blind because he was focusing too much in the dark.
Eye strain.
Eye strain. Blinded him.
Wow.
So, you know, but you know, he was only told to write psalms, you know, for the Puritan.
Yeah.
You know, he was like a Puritan with a small C, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Small C, because he didn't like what was going on. But he was the only writer. Now, my point is this. You had the likes of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You had the likes of all these wonderful Cyril Turney, you know, he wrote a Revenger's Tragedy, which is absolutely, these are all contemporaries of Shakespeare. Now just imagine them living in the Cromwellian times.
That's the question, isn't it? Living, would they be living?
Exactly, you know, like Christopher Marlowe, for example, as well. You know, these great writers, poets, plays,
Thinkers.
they would never, we would have never have read anything that they put down because they wouldn't have been allowed to. They would never have been allowed to, even if they lived during the, like Andrew Marvell and, you know, these metaphysical poets, John Donne. None of them. Thomas Hobbes, great philosopher. And he said, man is nasty, brutish, and short. That's one of the greatest quotes ever. That. Man is nasty, brutish, and short. In other words, man is a nasty person. He's very brutal, and he has a short temper. Hence, wars.
And this. Yeah.
You know what that is, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be his skull.
Well, hang on. Because what had happened when he actually died, Cromwell, and he has a son named Richard, and he said to him, you can either fuck off or be killed. And they give him a pension, they give him some money, because they didn't want another Cromwell.
No.
Even the people who supported him went against him. And Cromwell had the Model Army, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had the Model Army.
Yeah.
Just read what the lads are saying. He's laughing at you there, Lee Brazy. Look. Flame gun. That's a cracker. I was thinking poison. No, I'm not the cat.
it was a tongue-in-cheek one, Lee.
Flamethrower.
I know they didn't invent the flame gun till the year after.
Or the year before, and they couldn't use it. But anyway, Lee says, love going to Old Hall, Speak Hall, Rufford's Hall, Bidston Hall,
Yeah.
and the Crocky Hall. Open to visit Knowsley Hall soon. I heard that the entrance for Crocky Hall originally was all the way up in the Toxteth. That's how much land the Molyneux had. Yes. Don't know if it's true. But when you said about Speak Hall, the Norrises owned it.
Yeah.
The Norrises. And he says, oh my God, hung and quartered, all in one. That's too much pain. That plus you can't scream, you can't. Or breathe for some sort of coping release, no. Seen some of them medieval torture things. They were evil back then. Yep.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
And carries on. God, I bang my little toe on the floor and I think that's more pain. They would have fun with me back then. The sensitive one. So that. He was being like me and Anthony screaming. And as she says, lol, Anthony, they gave him Jimmy Savile the keys to Stoke Mandeville and Broadmoor instead. So Cedric Lopez, fellow with the great name. Big up to the legends, Frank and Anthony. Isn't that great? Thank you, Cedric.
Thank you. That's lovely.
And Bella says, Franco, so interesting, loving tonight. Thank you, Bella. Get down and make me a cup of tea, will you? Get Marcella to run you down. She's going to be me mate. Anyway, so, as I said, he was ruthless. Absolutely. He wouldn't trade with any Catholic countries. And he said, well, we've got enough produce here. Now, don't forget, when he went over to Ireland, in order to commit genocide, get rid of all the Irish, he just couldn't get rid of them. They were battling and fighting back, the Irish, which they did. So there was a fella by the name of Major John Ross Mann. And he killed more Irish than any other generals. So he gave him a reward of 9,000 acres at Strokestown. Of all that land. So he became the tenant now. He was the owner of this land at Strokestown, right in the middle of Ireland. All arable farmland. All arable farmland. And Ireland, as you know, can grow anything. Anything they can grow in Ireland. They've got one of the most pasteurized lands in the world. And they had a big forestry and everything. And this is why the likes of Humphrey Gilbert in 1566 went over. He went over to claim he claimed the land. And this is why the Irish have been, going on. You had the Troubles from 69 onwards.
Of course.
And they still want the land back. They want a united Ireland, all Ireland.
Yeah.
So that started in 1566. 1566, when you think about it. And then you have Cromwell. As I said, he wouldn't trade with anyone, especially Catholic countries. Wouldn't trade with them. He hated Catholics. And what were the Irish?
Catholics.
There you go. Hated them. And he was forcing people, even the protesters of Rome at the time, during the Tudor period, they didn't like him. And he turned against them. He turned against them. He was ruthless. And he was converting them into Puritanism. These are ordinary people, you know, as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you and I and the chatters here.
Yeah. They would have been petrified. Would have been petrified, and certainly if he had family and the threat of that plague of Cromwell.
Exactly. And what had happened, Anthony? What had happened was that when he was dying, obviously, you know, he finally succumbed. And when they buried him, the ordinary people, along, you know, they were allowed, you know, to go to where he was buried, dig him up. And that's what happened to him, because that is what happened. They dug him up, chopped his head off, and spiked him.
Yeah.
And put him on Traitor's Gate. And that's the skull of Cromwell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can imagine how much hate was there. Go on, Anthony, I'm sorry.
No, I can't imagine the hate, and just left him for the crows to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could imagine the people, you know, when I say about him being spiked, you know, his head being spiked and put on Traitor's Gate, that's how they reviewed him. He was a traitor. Not only a traitor to the cause, but he committed regicide, the killing of a king, which is heinous. It's the most, what do they call it? The most heinous crime you can commit in this country is regicide, the killing of a king. So he hated them for that.
Yeah.
So in 1660, well, in 1658, you know, after his death, they started to debate about bringing back the monarchy, because they felt safe with the monarchy. They felt safe.
Yeah.
So what they did, they debated for 2 years. So they decided to send for Charles II, you know, Charles' son, who was exiled in France. And he came over. And in 1660, he was pronounced king. He was pronounced king. King Charles II. So, I know, as soon as he died, Cromwell, what do you think opened first?
I like to think the churches,
Okay.
cathedrals, the places of peace.
Worship.
Yeah.
Places of worship. Do you know what it was? Have another guess.
The pubs.
Everyone says the pubs. They were the second.
Oh,
But it involves us. It involves you and I. It involves you and I. And Drew.
theatres.
Yes.
Wow.
They couldn't wait to put, to entertain.
Yes.
And you know what else they couldn't wait for?
To write.
Colour.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bang on.
Colour.
Wow.
And they just ripped that off and put colour on them. And this is where the tailors were made up. And the dyers, the dyers where they dye clothes, different colours.
Yeah.
So you could see now the pubs opened, they were the second, the inns, the churches. Whereas, when they went into a Puritan church, they were gone. They were gone back to, the normal Christianity.
So did that fall apart almost the minute he died?
Oh, yeah. It was gone. It was gone. Anyone who was Puritan, well, they were going around. It's like the Nazis in the Second World War. I'm not a Nazi. I wasn't a Nazi. I'm an ordinary German. Oh, you're not, you fucker. Get it. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but, there was, lots of roundups and things like that. And when the king was restored, the monarchy in 1660, everything was okay. Everything was okay. But he was a bit of a philanderer. But there was still a religion that was ostracized, still ostracized. What was that?
Catholicism.
Catholicism. And he was still, it was still shocking for the Catholics. It really was. And it wasn't until, believe it or not, now you're going back to when Henry VIII became head of the church. So you're talking like 1540, 42 or something like that. Because there's no real date, believe it or not. So anyway, and then he divorced himself from the Church of Rome. And they excommunicated him. And as I said, he begged the church to bring him back into the Catholic faith. And he died a Catholic. And every other king after him died Catholic. Did you know that?
I knew a few of them did. That's the hypocrisy at its grandest level, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So you have the likes of the people, celebrating. And it wasn't until 1830, from the 1540s, that Catholics were emancipated. 1830. So that they could build churches.
Yeah.
They built churches, but those churches had to have a flat roof. They had to be inconspicuous. And there was a fellow who became one of the great architects. And he reverted to Catholicism in 1831. And he said, you know, what are you becoming a Catholic for? He said, because they all want churches built. So he started building churches. And he started to put steeples on them. And by the time, not strangely enough, people in Old Swan sent for him. He said, listen, we want a church. So we came up north. He came to the north. And he said, what do you want? He said, well, we want a church here, Catholic church. We said, all right. He said, do you want a steeple? And he went, yeah. He said, okay. So he drew the church. He said, do you want it like that? He went, yeah. It's great, that. And it was St. Oswald's in Old Swan. That was the first church, still standing today. The first church in the north of England to have a steeple.
Wow.
And down Park Lane here in town, he built St. Peter's and Paul's. I always get mixed up with it, but it's St. Peter's nevertheless. And it's a cracking church. Welby Pugin, his name is. Welby Pugin. And you love this. Do you know what else he designed, Anthony? He designed furniture and wallpaper.
Like the arts and crafts movement, and like
There you go.
William Morris.
William Morris indeed.
Wow. Wow, what a mind, what a brain.
Oh yeah.
What a fantastic legacy.
Well, get onto this. He built 16 cathedrals. 16.
Wow.
Yeah. He also built hundreds of churches up and down the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what age he was when he died? Don't forget, he built 2 churches here. And I've got to show you something when we're in town. You and Laney.
Yeah.
I've got to show you. And it's a department store today. And on that department store, he designed it. Right?
Yeah.
But when you look at it, he couldn't get away from the churches. And when you look at it closely, it's got Romanesque arches, windows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that. He just couldn't get away from the
Wow.
and that's in town. I love showing people it. And he's got little heads around it as well, this building. And one of the heads, still couldn't get away from the churches, is that of a priest. A priest. Incredible. With a mitre on I'm talking about. A bishop.
Yeah.
With a mitre on. He couldn't get away from the churches. Love to show you that.
Brilliant. We will. And that is an absolutely perfect, wonderful, positive way to move on from the desolation that these horrors inflicted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And remember when I mentioned about Skirving Street where St Anthony's was
Yeah,
a house?
yeah,
Well, they built, just as just before they became emancipated, they built St Anthony's Church on Scotland Road, and that had more or less a pitched roof. That more or less had a pitched roof. But they never built any, it's just stayed the same.
that has got such a special place in our heart, that church.
Yeah, of course. Bishop Tom as well.
And
We
obviously,
know him, don't we?
in part, that's what I'm named after.
Yeah.
Mum. And
Anthony, yeah. And you know what? It was always Anthony of Padua, Saint
yeah,
Anthony of Padua,
yeah,
but it changed its name to Saint Anthony's of Egypt. He was born in Padua, right?
yeah,
But he went into exile and he lived a hermit's life in Egypt. So they took away the Padua and brought in Egypt. So it's St. Anthony's of Egypt. Believe it or not. And I told Joe McGann. I had lunch with Joe McGann, the actor, the big tall McGann.
yeah.
And he comes up and he stays with Bishop Tom because the house is full with all the McGanns.
Yeah.
Goes to see the mother. And I was having lunch with him. And he said about Bishop Tom, I said, St. Anne's site, you go there? He said, oh, well, yeah. He said, I've been there lots of times, And I said, well, it's not St. Anthony's of Padua, And he looked at me. He said, do you know that? I said, yeah. Because he said Egypt. I said, precisely. Joe McGann.
Yeah. Well, that was a church for the family, the McGann family. Yeah. And I've got to say he's beloved, because he is beloved. He's one of the legends of our brilliant city. But Tom was an altar boy there at St. Anthony's.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. No,
I was an altar boy. I was an altar boy at St. Joseph.
Wow.
And there was something wrong with the vestry, this time, where you got changed.
Yeah.
When you're at school, you threw all the garb on. And I had to get changed in the house. I had to bring the thing along, to put it on. And my old girl's mates would go, oh, he's going to be a lovely priest. Oh, won't he make a lovely priest? I'm looking at them, Can you imagine me being a priest? I wouldn't have Bella as me mate.
No, that was the way it was. Priest or boxer.
That was it, wasn't it? But anyway, the actually says, what I said was the first thing. He said a pub, but it was the second.
Closed, yeah, the theatre.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bella says, Marcel is in Italy for a few weeks in the Amalfi. I was only talking about that.
Absolutely.
To Francine today. I said, we have to go. I said, we have to go to two places. One is Lucca. This is where I want to go when I go to, we go to Italy, and me and you will have to go as well, by the way, Anthony. When we go to Italy, to see Puccini's house, the great opera fella.
Oh, yes.
Madame Butterfly and all that. I love Puccini.
Yeah.
I want to go, and Tosca said she'd take us around there because that's where the family's from. How about that?
That's just brilliant. Just fantastic.
But I was talking to Francine today.
Yeah.
And I said, Francine, I'd love to take you and Sophia to the Amalfi Coast one day. I said, it's beautiful. So beautiful. I said, you'd love it. And then I said, and another place I'd love to take you is the Dolomites, the Dolomiti, the Dolomites. It's outstanding beauty. And obviously on the phone, and she's looking at the things, and you can get it. You can actually pay for a trip, believe it or not, to Verona, right? Get onto this, to Verona. It's only 20 odd quid, where you just go into there's a small Colosseum there, and I've been in there a couple of times, a few times, and I've seen Macbeth on there in Italian. I've seen Aida, the opera, there as well. And this card that you get is that you just go straight in. It's all paid for, everything, and go into the balcony, Juliet's balcony that I want to show Sophie. Yeah, wow. And there's another trip somewhere else. So I said, great, get that, no problem. And then she said, Dad, where did you want to go? To the mountain range? I said, yeah, the Dolomites. She said, there's a trip there from here, from the hotel.
There you go.
I said, we got to do it. So made up with that. That's all in May.
That's fantastic. All the people have fallen in, with that wonderful doctor the other week.
Oh. I'd have to find out her name because I want to get her something. I don't know the doctor. She said her name and I forgot it. But I will find out when I go up. When I will go up. And Paulie says, the McGanns are a very talented family. Yes. Yes. They are. Joe McGann's a lovely fella, isn't he, Anthony?
Yeah, he is lovely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know why I went to see him? He wanted me DVDs.
Oh, brilliant.
And I gave him them. I said, yeah. He said, oh, how much? I said, nothing. I said, he said, for me and me mum. That's what he said, me and me mum.
Fantastic.
And he bought the lunch. He said, can I buy you the lunch now? I said, yeah, okay. The McGanns. You're not going to believe who's got 2 of my DVDs. Right?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah. The President of the United States. And you're not going to believe how we got them. Did you know Clinton used to come over here? Do you know when he was at Oxford? He used to come to Liverpool. And he used to go and try and see the Beatles. And he always missed them at the cabin. And do you know where he drank?
Oh, not the post house.
No, not the post house.
The grapes.
Yes. The grapes.
Yes. Very.
Him and his mates from Oxford. And anyway, he never ever seen them. He never ever seen them. Do you ever remember Paul McCartney when he became president? Clinton, I don't like Clinton, by the way. I don't like his wife either. Warmongers. He invited Paul McCartney and he gave a little concert in that at the White House. Do you ever remember that?
I remember Fleetwood Mac doing a spot for him. Yeah.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, so was McCartney. But anyway, how he got them, McCartney sent an email to Tony Snell. And he said, is there anything on Liverpool? And he said, yeah. And he sent down a box set. There was only 4 made at the time. And he sent them down. Now, Bill Clinton was over at the Oxford Union giving a talk, these fucking people. He was giving a talk because he was an old boy anyway.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Americans being old boys of Oxford and Cambridge. Anyway, he was at the Oxford Union giving a speech. Now, don't forget, America is so fucking vast, isn't it?
Yes.
And he said, now this is the president. Like, you still get called president. This is after he retired, by the way. And he said, is there any way that we can get in touch with Paul McCartney? Because he loved the Beatles. He's a big Beatles big Beatles fan. So anyway, don't forget, these are these are the fucking CIA and all. And he got through and he went, yeah, he's in his home at St. John's Wood, London. He said, do you want to go, Mr. President? He said, yeah. And he phones him up. He was there. I think he was there. I'm not quite so sure. But anyway, when they phoned him, they got hold of him. And he said, yeah. So he got into, I think he came to Liverpool 4 times to see the Beatles and he missed them all the time. 4 times. Right? And when he got to McCartney, he was chatting and whatever. And he said to McCartney, because he said he comes back to Liverpool, which he does, doesn't he?
Yes.
Paul. He's always back.
Yeah.
He's never forgot his roots. He's one of our great philanthropists as well, is McCartney. Anyway, he said, is there anything you've got on Liverpool? He said, because when I was going up there, he said it was grimy and things like that. Right?
Yeah.
And he said, well, I've got a couple of DVDs by some Liverpool historian. And he gave, I don't know what he gave him, like, what ones. He says, and you'll see Liverpool on there. And he took them gladly, believe.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellery, have a look at this. It's Liverpool. This is where I used to go to. See them Beatles.
I'm just watching this.
Do you want a coffee, honey? I'm just watching this, Ale. Just watching this, Ale. I wonder if he calls it Ale. All right, Ale. Don't like them anyway. But anyway, Ashley says, hi Ashley. Hi Frank and Anthony. Oliver Cromwell is one of my heroes. He got rid of the royals. It's a pity he's not around now to do it again. I'm not for the royal family. If we had a referendum, they would be finished. A lot of people are saying that as well. But listen to what I said about him.
Yeah, we're not fans of him, to be honest, Ashley. But we appreciate your viewpoint, and the problem that comes up time and time again is what would happen if there was no royal family, because there'd be someone like that or that fart in America. Oh,
Yeah.
Trump, sorry, who would take his place.
Yeah.
That is not.
See,
I like that some buffer. Some.
well, it is a buffer, but I'm not a royalist at all. I'm like Ashley, like a
I'm
lot
not.
of people, because they've sponged off the state for many, many years. But getting back to Ashley what you see there is Oliver Cromwell. And what you see is his death skull. But what's, show you this in full, take you there, thing up. And that's Cromwell's head. And what you see is a spike. Because when he died, the people dug him up and chopped his head off and spiked it and put it on Traitors Gate in London, where lots of traitors were hanged. And they actually spiked his head, and that's it. That's Cromwell's head. Spiked. That's how much they thought of Cromwell. He was ruthless. And Matthew Hopkins, the witch-finder general, who he hired to go around to people and just kill them, accused them of being witches, burning them alive, hanging them, putting on the ducking stools. Shocking what they did. Shocking. Especially him. And you know that he had to stop it, because he was getting words in his ear, Cromwell. He said, I forget who it was, and said, if this carries on, the nation will turn. They're very angry because they used to live in fear, and they used to have runners, say like you were living in say like a small town or even a village, right? And they used to have what you call runners, the people of this little town or the village. And the next was, I just want to read this. I think I figured it out, Frank, mate. I sent an email. Okay, Jason's away, so I'll be reading the email tomorrow. I'll send you the email right away with my details on. Okay. And text me. And if you text me, I'll give you the bell. I'll ring you as soon as you get my email tomorrow. That's great, though. That's great, though. May's up with that, mate. And Paulie says, I usually spit on the floor when people mention the Royals. Not tonight, though. The brilliant folk in here are talking my kinds of talk, says Paulie. Thanks, Paulie. Thank you. So you see, the way it went, Anthony, the way everything went about him. Yeah, look. Near to this place was buried on the 25th of March, 1960, the head of Oliver Cromwell, Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland, follow commoner of this college, 16 to 67. Commoner.
Yes. Yes. And I think even now somebody take his head up and use it as a football.
Yeah, no, not now. And actually says, didn't Cromwell get offered to be king, but he turned it down because that's what he fought against? Yeah, actually, I wish you would actually just listen to what I say about him. I'm not going over it again, like, you know, but he wasn't a big man, you know. It was Fairfax. And he finally took over Fairfax during battles with the Royalists. So he wasn't a big man, really, Oliver Cromwell. It's like, believe it or not, I'll just take this off. It's just like, Anthony, you know, when we were talking about the gunpowder plotters.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, it was a government subplot for them.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned about bonfire and Guy Fawkes night when I said, you said, yeah, Guy Fawkes night, right? Now, Guy Fawkes wasn't the main man.
No.
He wasn't the main man.
No.
The main man was Catesby. And Sir Thomas Percy. You know, he was the son or grandson, I'm not quite too sure now, of the Duke of Northumberland. They were the leaders of the gunpowder plotters. He was a great swordsman, you know.
He was a well-respected soldier, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Do you mean Guido Fawkes? Yeah. He was a master swordsman. Now, when you get to see, you know, he was captured by the beefeaters, you know, the guards. He was taking his sword out because he was on a mission and he was to kill them. So you see how phony it was.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't found in the cellars, he was found in a pub having a bevy.
Yeah.
But Oliver Cromwell.
The man in black.
The man in black, yeah. Is he get your suit, mate? Oh, fellas around the corner. That colour, that black, isn't it? But anyway, you know, he was. He just said, you know, Anthony. I wasn't there. He said, "What are you on about?" Because he was a great soldier. Because he fought in the French army.
Yeah. And
he fought the Dutch. And they was like more or less on the banks of a river, like on a beach or whatever. And he said, we're finished. You know, because the French army were there on solid grounds and they were just fucking there on the water's edge. And he dug a tunnel. And he went along it with soldiers. Because, don't forget, battles are won and lost in a day.
Yeah.
And how that came about, you know, when like people were having a battle.
Yeah.
They used to say, when it went dark, oh, fuck that, you know, they just stopped fighting. When it went dark, couldn't see. So they used to say, see you in the morning. All right, you know, sun up. And then they battle again. But sometimes, and a lot of times actually, when one army woke up and went, where are they? He said, they fucked off home. Gone home. Battles are won and lost in a day. And who said that?
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. Shakespeare said the battles are won and lost in a day.
Yeah.
So you see, it's incredible, Anthony. Oh, please, it is. It's incredible that, people tend to, look at the way life was before and after.
Yeah.
People, there was inns on coach journeys, and you could stop at the inns for victuals and a drink. Well, they all stopped during Cromwellian period. They all stopped. He stopped all these inns were closed down, and all colour, everything. And do you know when I said about they finally took, the people of Liverpool finally took the castle back in the November.
Yeah.
Do you know Cromwell? Do you know what he did? Do you know the big woods I said where, they couldn't see the castle because of the trees? They had to view it from Low Hill.
Yeah.
He gave them, he said, you can have the forest as a reward for defeating the the royalists. So they chopped all the trees down because woods was very precious in those days. As you know, they built everything with it, from boats to houses to everything.
Still is now, Frank.
Still is now today, yeah.
We were talking, yeah, it's one of the greatest commodities, if we dare call it that, on this planet.
And Mr. Cox said the same, didn't he?
The legend Brian Cox, yeah. He said gold, diamonds, rubies, sapphires mean nothing because the universe is covered in them. They drop like hailstones. They're just there. They're everywhere. But the most priceless thing in the universe would be wood, trees, because nothing grows.
Nothing.
So it's a sign of life. So,
and when I used to go home from work and it was sunny, I used to love driving down, the avenue.
yeah.
The sun coming through the trees. Oh, I loved that. And I missed that, driving. I wonder if I'd be able to get my license back. If I see everything and everything's all right.
Well, they will monitor what your next stages are going through, yeah. Might not be on Strictly this week or next. Whatever.
Me and Belly.
Could be, though.
Me and Belly. Oh, who are you, Bella? Oh, I'm his maid. What are you going to do? We're going to do the jive. We're going to do the jive, to Twist and Shout by the Beatles. And Ashley says, I worked at Chavanage House in Tetbury, where Cromwell used to stay a lot. Did a bit of painting and decorating work. Oh, very good, Ashley.
Brilliant.
I've got a cracking paintbrush here. I need a line done.
I do a bit myself. But
I can't now. I used to always do my own decorating. I was good at it.
Yeah.
Good at the old decks.
Yeah.
So listen up, all you football fans. I'll be doing a football podcast tomorrow night. And I've left something out, about tonight. I've left it. I forgot what it is. Well, anyway, I got up to the emancipation, didn't I? And that's when the purge stopped. You're talking from 1542, I think, up to 1830.
That's crazy.
Ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
Ethnic cleansing.
But to close it with an observation from today, right now, any high office in the government cannot be taken by a Catholic.
No.
Right?
Yeah, that includes Prime Minister, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and obviously a King and Queen. Did you know Camilla is a queen, isn't she now? Is she a queen?
Yeah.
Did you know that she had to renounce her Catholicism? She was Catholic,
Yeah.
She had to renounce her Catholicism to become queen.
Because Charles lost his heart, not to her or to Diana, but was it a princess of Denmark? Was something like that?
Luxembourg,
who, by chance, was a Catholic.
Yeah. And
So
has a big voice, a big towering voice going into Westminster Chapel, going, blasphemy, blasphemy.
Yes.
And who was that, do you reckon?
Oh, that was Ian Paisley.
Certainly was. Because of Cardinal Basil Hume. He was saying mass, and when it came out that Charles could be marrying a Luxembourg princess, Catholic, he was shouting blasphemy. He went in shouting blasphemy. Incredible, isn't it? And Paulie says, well, a good night to all, Frank and Anthony and chat. I really enjoyed listening and learning again.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Paulie.
Me too.
We'll be back next Monday.
We will, yeah.
Next Monday. And we don't know what to do. We'll have a chat to see what we'll do.
I love the idea that we talked about today about a particular person in history. But I also love what how we closed tonight, with your mentioning of a brilliant and prolific architect that put us back on the map, so to speak, not just with Catholic churches, but with architecture. I'd love to start Monday off if we pick one or two architects, and then
I'd have to pick a few.
Yeah, we do a series of them, but dip in, dip out and stuff.
Okay, because I'll tell you who it starts off with then. Starts off with the father and son. That was the Fosters. Foster Senior and Foster Junior.
Yeah.
And also who you'll have to bring in is, to me, in my opinion, was the greatest Art Deco architect in the entire world.
Yes.
Right? So we'll bring him in. And another fellow we'll bring in is George Grayson. And you'll be surprised what he built.
Okay. Are we going to do them in order of kind of
Yeah,
birth?
in order, yeah. We'll do the Fosters first, and then we'll do Grayson, and then we'll do Herbert J. Rouse, the Art Deco architect. And then there's loads more, as you know,
It is. Yeah. Love it.
loads more. You've got the Shelmadines.
Yeah.
Shelmadines are unbelievable. So we'll do all them.
Yeah. The people who built this city.
Listen to this fella, Ashley. You two should do an episode on the paranormal. We have done.
We
And
have
we're
to.
going
And
to do it again. Aren't we, Anthony?
yeah, absolutely. I'm with that. Absolutely.
Everyone was made up with it. So we'll get we'll do it in
Jim.
the next week or two, eh?
Yeah. Love it.
We'll get our friends of ours who does all the paranormal stuff. He's a
Yeah.
ghost hunter.
Yeah.
Jamie Williams.
Yeah. And whenever he's free is when we'll do it.
Yes. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Do you
Well,
know?
after, yeah. But,
Do you know one of my DVDs?
yeah.
There's a song on it, And Frankie
Okay.
Carlyle says it was. I tell you, it was by what were they called? The Boys of '64.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I'm just a poor boy from Liverpool, and it was about me.
Oh, Billy's on it as well, isn't he?
Billy's on it.
That we love.
How about that?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I'm Jason to play a little bit next Monday.
I would. Your set of DVDs is here with me, and here we are honoured to have it. We did. We went to see you talk at Town Hall, Liverpool. So it's going back nearly 20 years. No, it can't be that long, the DVDs, but and there was some of the portraits there, and you kindly said, "This is for you and Lady," and I loved that. We played it to death with the kids. The kids loved it, and
I'll go away.
Yes.
So that's why Tom recognised me when I met him.
Yeah. Well, and Tom, like I say, when Tom's working away, he had been working down south and stuff. And he'd say, "Are you on with Frank?" And I'd say, "Yeah, we're on this week, Monday, on like our regular spots and stuff." So we would watch it in Cornwall or wherever he was. And it was fun. Get all his mates to see you.
That's great, though. That's great. It's it's so as you know, we get Americans, the likes of Dennis Paparak, for example, Joe Whittaker. Americans. I've got Ali Danus from Romania.
Absolutely.
It's great. And what's his bloody name? Is it Simon from Gibraltar? I always say, give Gibraltar back.
Have you got your rock back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And of course, there's Mr. Clinton.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look. Just got home now. I can play that now. Can you? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Jay, please. Ah, look at it. I haven't checked the level, so it might be a bit loud. Is that right? Oh, that's great, that, mate. How about that?
Absolutely love it. Love it. Love it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm so humbled for that as well. I've had a few humbling things in my life, you know. That's one of them. But the prize is your one. What you did. 100 heads thinking. That was 100 Liverpool heads thinking. It's great. Yeah, did you? And Jason says, yeah, Facebook and YouTube get arsey if we play too much. Yes. Yes. I wonder if any of the chatters enjoyed that.
Of course he would. Thanks, Jay. That was brilliant. Sound level was brilliant too.
Don't forget, I've got the football show tomorrow, Jay. The footy. He didn't know that I was awake this morning at 7 o'clock.
I know. I saw the pings coming in. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, you were up as well, weren't you?
As I'm trying to answer Jay, you answered him first. So,
and you know what? He said, there's a match on Saturday and there's a match next Wednesday. He's become a Liverpool fanatic.
There you go.
Doesn't like football. He knows what time the matches are. That's what you call a good producer, you see. But he always forgets to put the score up for me. He always forgets that. I wonder how long he was listening. I wonder if he was listening to us calling him for everything before Anthony. Hey, this. I think, listen, I think the word you're looking for is PA, personal assistant.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it? So anyway, people, I've got to finish. I can't get the score on until we get your other. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I forgot about that, Jay. I'm sorry. Forgot about that. I've got to get another monitor. You haven't seen my monitor to get the match on. They're going to be fucking silly. Look at that. The Archie. Night, fellas. Thank you, Archie.
Oh, good
Thank
night.
you. So, back on tomorrow. I'm doing the footy show. Oh, the Spark. Oh, bro, you never there. We don't even know you're there, Spark. Good night, guys. Good night, Spark. Don't forget tomorrow the football show. The football show. And we'll be talking lots of football. And Ernie Slot. Ernie. So I says, is his name Ernie? Yeah, Ernie. Ernie. How the Spark goes like that. That's for tomorrow. Thank you. Jason. Night, gents. Night, all. Oh, he's lovely.
Night, Jay. Thanks for the images.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Brilliant, mate. Thank you. And I made up with that plaque as well. What you got for us. And Bella says, Franco and Anthony, buonanotte, and all you chatters. Thanks to you both. Great night. So much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Bella, so much for doing it.
And all I've got to say is a big thank you to these wonderful people, Gap Painting Services, who sponsor all the podcasts from football to history to current affairs to the film and TV review on a Saturday morning that no one looks at. I've got Jason. I'll text Jason about that email that Ashley sent.
Oh,
I'll be able to read it.
yeah.
Like my Scouse friends loved the song, dear, says Ashley.
There you go.
Oh, great. Look at that. He's great, Jason, isn't he? Look. I'm looking at it now. Thank you, Jay. Jay, can you send it on to me? And do you know what I want you to do, Jay? If you can, I don't know whether he can do it. I've got an email from someone who wants to put me in an autobiography. Is there any way that you can send it to Anthony? Because I'm useless, as you know. And if anyone can do it, Anthony, Jason can do it. Have you enjoyed tonight?
I loved it. I loved it. It's a roller coaster.
Can I give you the ring?
Yeah, give us a ring. I might fall asleep during it, but yeah, give us a ring.
I'm going to make a cup of tea first.
Yeah, come get your stuff.
Because Jason was gallivanting, wasn't he?
He's out every night. That's what.
Yeah, look, see. He is. He's a gallivanter. I won't be in tonight. Have fun. Little thing to us. Have fun. Have we had fun?
We've had fun. Yeah. And we kept our heads.
Oh, look at that. Done and done. Sent your Gmail to Anthony.
Thank you, Jay.
Just have a look at it.
Will do.
And I'm going to thank you, Jay. You're a good man. Thank you so much, mate. And I'll send Ashley an email now. Isn't that brilliant?
Brilliant.
So he comes in and does everything.
Does everything. Yeah. Yeah. Jay would have sorted out that Cromwell one. Just
Oh, yeah.
two slaps, get out.
Get out of it.
Back to normal.
And back to normal. And Jason doesn't even swear. He's like you. Don't swear, do you? Hey.
No, never.
We're going to do, you know, right. We're going to.
Forgive me, mother.
We're going to do, aren't we, you know, characters in the very near future. Some who were bad and some who were good.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't give, look at him, I kick his head in, says Jason. Look,
Yeah, go. That's what we, yeah. Just watch out for that spike.
Oh, yeah, watch out for the spikes. There's a good film coming out this summer about the Odyssey, yeah. Homer's Odyssey, yeah. Yeah. Jason. Be Jason, that won't it? Jason and the Argonauts. I like the original one. It was brilliant.
Yeah. Even now, you know, all the special effects and everything have moved on, you know, to today. But I loved what it did, didn't you? Wow.
Do you know what I was watching? Oh, I can't tell you. It's not out. Yeah, it's only come out. But I'll tell you what it was later. Anyway, people, you're talking numbness, aren't you?
Yes.
People, I've got to go. I really have. Yeah, the Simba. I've actually. Do you know what? I've got it to watch. The old Sinbad's Ashley. Yeah, he is. I try to think of his name. Harry Harryhausen. Ray Harryhausen. I used to call him Harry. Harry Harryhausen. They used to say, Harry Harryhausen. And it's Ray. Loved them, grew up watching them. Yeah, absolutely, Jay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we did. Well, I was already growing up, like. The Odyssey, I think Jason would like the Odyssey as well. And you would, and I would. But it depends on the actor who plays him.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very funny fellow about actors and actresses. So can I ring you after I make a cup of tea?
Of course, get something to eat, mate. Yeah.
You don't mind?
No.
Okay, I promise you. It's 9:30 now. We've had a good 2.5 hours. We've got through everything we needed to get through, haven't we? About Cromwell and right up to 1830 and the emancipation.
Yes.
And do you know what I want to talk about as well? Not now, obviously. I'd like to talk about the famine, 1845.
Yeah.
The 1845, because during tonight's one, I did say about Cromwell giving 9,000 acres of Strokestown to the general who killed more Irish than the other fellas.
Yeah.
And his descendant, he caused the 1845 famine. See, I want to get all that.
Oh, we got another steak?
What?
Oh, we got another steak? Put his head on.
I knew what you meant, yeah. I was just looking at his thing. Jason says Matt Damon and Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland. Matt Damon's all right. I think the new, I think, and they are, yeah, they are the two of them. Tom Holland, I've seen a little bit of it. And the actor is Matt Damon. Thank you, Ashley. He's confirming it, what Jason said.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be Jason. Matt Damon.
Okay.
He's got a beard and everything. Normally, I don't like him. But I will watch The Odyssey because it's a classic.
Yes.
Yeah, what we'll do the 1845 famine.
Yeah.
But I can go back to 1566 as well, and the scorched land. And the hundreds of thousands of people that died.
Well, maybe that should be the next one we do then, to continue.
I'll just give you this. I think you're right there. I'll give you the name. And this lad went to America. There was 114. 114 O'Grady's. Just leave you with this. Family members. And the young lad, 17, went to America to make his fortune. And they all kissed him. And anyway, he gets there. And when he was, I think, 26, it wasn't just under 10 years that he was there in America, but he made money because the lads worked hard and he was a clever lad. He was an engineer, right?
Yeah.
And he came back. He said, I'm going to surprise. He said, my parents and my brothers and sisters, and I'm going to take them back to America. Right?
Yeah.
He gets home. Now, don't forget, in the day, like writing letters and that, fucking, you never got them. Especially from Ireland to America or from America to Ireland. You know what I mean? Never got them. And when he got home, and he gets home in 1848, yeah, to take his parents and his little brothers and sisters with him back over to Ireland because he had the money. How many of them were left of the O'Grady's? Like a big family of them. 114 or something like that. Like cousins and that. His parents had brothers and sisters, if you know what I mean. Their family. That's how he was like well over 100 people. How many of them left when he got home?
I can't guess, Frank. I would love to say all of them.
This is after the famine. Not one.
Oh.
They were all dead. So it's things like that. They're all right next week.
Yeah.
Because again, you've got to look at the way famines were. And George Bernard Shaw said, how could there be a famine when the country was full of food? It was the English that wiped them out. Again, the good old English. And Ashley says, Troy is a good film. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Supposed to say Troy is it? No, I knew what you meant. Ashley. I'll send you an email later on. Is that okay? So you'll have it. You'll have all my details. As I said, if you're free sometime tomorrow, just text me. and I'll ring you. Okay? Anthony,
Yeah.
mille grazie, mate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. As ever. Brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
It has been good. It has been good.
Yeah.
Great chat as well. Great comments.
Brilliant comments. And the moral of the story is we finally buried the bad guys.
Yep. Certainly did. So I'll speak to you in a moment. Okay?
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Toscana. And to you, I'll just say, mille grazie. Buonanotte. Ci vediamo. Ciao. Ciao, Bella.
Thanks all. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night, people.